Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the podcast for Think Ribbon, the podcast where we talk about the things that we think about. Sorry, it's been a long day. I am Kai Morgan, your host, joined today once again by the lovely Diamond. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Did you just see a movie or anything?
I mean, how did you know? Oh, you read my mind. Contact, I'm a bit bevy, but it's good, it's fine. I will retain myself. Yeah, I just watched the new Raccoon City movie. A lot of emotions on that. Don't quite know how to start.
So overall, how would you sum it up? Good, bad? I know it's kind of weird because it's like a mix.
Yeah. I would call it entertaining, because entertaining doesn't have to be good, doesn't have to be bad. Because, when you watch X Factor and you have someone who's really bad at singing, but everyone's like, come on, you can do it. It's, really entertaining.
Yeah.
But you'd pick that over someone that can really sing because, it's not as fun.
Right.
So it's kind of how you feel about that. I really, it was really entertaining. I laughed so much, so I had a good time. I laughed because it was ridiculous at some points, and I laughed because some things were just so random I didn't understand the correlation, but you do you, boo. Yeah, I just I made a memory of my friend Rob, and that is what I'm gonna that's what it is to me now, a good memory. I don't know if I'll watch it again anytime soon. But yeah, I agree with what you said on your stream. Rent, don't buy.
Yeah, I don't think there's a place on my Resident Evil shelf for that Blu-ray. I'm sorry.
It's just if we have to get into nitty gritty, the characters, I have no idea who agreed to letting Leon be like that. I don't know, someone who didn't play the game quite clearly, because. I understand. I can get over the fact that it didn't look like Leon. I can get over that. Jill didn't look like Jill. Wesker looked more like Chris.
Yeah.
To me. And I think the actor who played Wesker is known for not being in very serious roles, I think, because I remember him from some other films. And it played that. But you could see he wasn't used to being, taken seriously, and he would make jokes as he was dying, and I would just be like, yeah, you can die now, please.
Yeah, it's shh, stop.
Oh yeah, this is spoilers, by the way. We're not
by the time this comes out, people will have to, you've either seen it by now or sorry.
Yeah. You've seen it or you've read the reviews and haven't seen it. I do think that everyone should watch it, though. You need to watch it to get your own opinion.
Yeah, if you're a Resident Evil fan, just watch it and you'll have a good time, as long as you don't go into it super serious, this is Resident Evil, this is how it's supposed to be. And also, do not harass anyone involved in this film. Jesus Christ. I was gonna do a review for my channel, and I just was you know what, people are misbehaving, so no, I'm not gonna talk about this movie now.
They're all getting in the naughty corner, how dare they?
Well, I mean, they're attacking the actors who did not write or produce this movie. They were contacted and hired to do acting, and that is it. They're not in control of what they wear, what they say. It's Dance Monkey, and you just do it. And now people are going after them. It's don't. Oh my god.
Yeah, I think you're too naive to believe that actors would turn down a job if they don't like the role, because they don't like the role and it's their pride. If you're getting paid to do a role, you're going to do the role. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To them, it's a job.
Well, to be fair, really, really big actors, Angelina Jolie could say, I don't like this script, I want to change a couple things, and the studios would be sure, because she's going to sell tickets. But these actors are not on that level.
Yeah,
and
I know a few of them from Netflix.
Yeah.
That was so shady, I'm sorry. No, yeah. There's no big stars. I thought Chief Irons had a massive part. He took over a lot of it.
That's one of the things we were talking about. I don't like Chief Irons, but in this movie I was I actually kind of like this version of him. I mean, he's way better than the Chief Irons we know. I mean, he was almost fun, and competent.
I feel they gave all the actors funny pills, because you cannot take this film seriously. It's shock after shock after, like, this is here. Oh, there's a water bottle with an umbrella sticker on it, and now we're in the labs. Like, it's there's so much going on.
Like what I was saying, it's like they took Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2 and just put them in a blender. Like whatever came out was this movie.
Spencer Mansion was like,
yeah, that's one thing. The sets are like spot on. The RPD, the mansion, the orphanage. I mean, like they were the locations exactly as they are in the games. It was really well done.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on the zombies though?
The zombies were fucking awful. Unless you're into like the George Romero zombies that are like, oh, I speak and I move like a robot. Like, I'm sorry, but Paul Anderson's movies had way better zombies.
You know, like, I understand there is a budget, but putting prosthetics on 2 or 3 zombies and then having them at the front is not good enough.
No.
Oh my god, and like, prosthetics were horrible. You could see where the eye holes were. They hadn't blended it properly. Like,
so
change the lighting. Sorry, I got this in my hand.
With the original, I don't like. I don't even know where to begin. The original movies, everyone like shits on them, but I will die on the hill that at least the first original one with like Mila Jovovich was really good. I mean, it made me want to be, literally made me want to be a filmmaker. Like, I joined the film club in high school and like the whole thing, and I watched all the commentaries of that. The first movie, everybody that was a zombie, even Michelle Rodriguez, all had to go to like this zombie boot camp, and it was like 2 weeks of learning how to act like a zombie, and it shows, because when you watch that movie, you see how people move, like their body language and like the way they like move their face, and they had a lot of dancers, because dancers know how to move their bodies, and like that was not in this movie. They were just like, yeah, just act like a zombie, whatever. Like,
and it was like they were screeching rather than groaning and moaning.
Well, for me, the biggest problem was they were talking. Like, don't do that. That's not Resident Evil zombies. Like,
they reminded me of the Last of Us enemies rather than enemies from Resident Evil.
Well, just like all of us in the theater with the itchy tasty, we were just like, oh, right already. Like, oh, yeah, that's not how it works.
No. But yeah, like I said, the Spencer Mansion was like chef's kiss. Like, that was pretty much the game coming to life. That really was. They obviously cut out lots of stuff. I'm not going to deal with these puzzles. And do you know what? I actually really liked when Wesker got that device that told him what to do.
With the map, right?
That made sense.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I wish, like, he played the full song, but, like, you know, just that little bit wasn't.
Oh, I'm really mad about that, because, like, the whole, as they were approaching the piano, I was like, oh my god, Jill's gonna play it. Jill's gonna play it. And then Wesker plays it while she's standing right there. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works.
Like, there's so many things that they could have changed that would have literally taken the time it took to do what they originally did. Like, how hard is it to put Claire's hair in a ponytail? How hard is it for Leon to shave? He never had a beard. If, with the piano scene, if you could have just had Wesker play it and play like a really off note, and then Jill could have been like really cheesy and gone, get out of the way, I can do it.
Yeah, that's what I thought they were gonna do. Like, I thought Wesker was gonna play and be like, fuck, I can't do this, and she'll be like, here, like, let me use my piano skills, and then it would have been like, like, it's there was a lot of moments like that where they got so close to doing something cool and then fucked it up, and it's just like,
oh my god. Okay, right. What did you think of the liquor scene with Lisa?
Okay, I know that it was like completely out of nowhere and it was like, what the fuck? But that was like one of my favorite parts, if not my favorite part in this entire movie. Like, I know it didn't make any sense. It broke the canon. It was stupid in terms of Resident Evil, but just to see it actually happen and like the effects and like whatever, I thought it was really well done and I was very pleased. Yeah,
it was done well, I won't lie. Like, and it was shock, like shock value are us. Jesus
Well,
Christ.
None of us saw that coming.
No, like I think I looked at the time on my phone because I was like, oh, how far are we into it? Because we were going for food after. And I looked up like, what the fuck? Like, Jesus Christ. I wish Lisa was an enemy personally, because I feel that's just my opinion, but I don't mind Lisa helping out and like giving her the keys. Like, it makes the stupidity that they did makes sense because they made it make sense with other stupid things. I think that's how you can.
Well, I mean, they like Lisa never meets Leon or Claire ever because they never go to the mansion. So I don't know. That's where like they really remixed a lot of stuff, and I don't know why they did that. That's the thing. My biggest question with this movie is why did we need another retelling of Resident Evil 2 or 1? Why didn't we get a new story? Because like, so the character of Jill in this movie, I actually really liked her, but not like, I feel like she would have been an amazing addition to the STARS team. Like I could see her and Jill being really good friends, and like she adds like the dynamic to the STARS, especially having like a crush, like love triangle with Chris and Wesker. It was really interesting, and she was great. It's just, I don't know, like she wasn't really Jill.
Shedder, that's for sure. If Shedder made a comeback. That was my issue with Jill. She was a bit too flirtatious for my liking, just only because I was trying to take this seriously, and like I said, everyone had took laughing pills because it was like they couldn't say something without making it a quip or a joke or a double meaning, or do you know what I mean? Well, like, it's just fine with if it's tasteful.
So with the Jill romance thing, like I didn't say during the podcast, but I had actually written like in all caps, like Jill having a romance equals no, and I have specific reason for this, and it's in my opinion one of the reasons that Resident Evil is so good in terms of equality, especially like with representation of female characters and stuff, because what ends up happening is anytime that there is an action movie or something where like the female ends up becoming the love interest, you know, like the phrase, the guy gets the girl in the end, the woman becomes just a thing for the main character to get, and she becomes like a backseat character, and they really never did that with Resident Evil. Leon and Claire never have a romantic interest, and it keeps that level of respect between them. Same with Chris and Jill, same with Chris and Sheva throughout the series. Like that's how it's always been, and I think that is one of the key successful formulas for Resident Evil. That's why I think they threw in like Ada as like Leon's love interest or like something like that to kind of you know, direct the player like here's like something for that. But as soon as they were like Jill having a crush on anyone, I was like, no, you're ruining it, stop.
Speaking of like Ada Wong, what did you think of the end cutscene?
Well, like
honestly, half the cinema had left by the way by the time that happened, because me and Rob were just sitting there like don't know what to think, and then suddenly another scene popped up.
I would have left, but everyone told me like there's an end credit scene, so stay. So we were like, okay, and like we were all like waiting for it, and then it popped up, and then like it happened, and then it was over, and we're like, oh, that's it. Like it's like yeah, we already knew this. The only thing is like now like Wesker works for Ada, which is like what? And then like the sunglasses thing, like Wesker doesn't wear his sunglasses for any other reason than he just like likes to wear them because they're cool, you know. Like
he got like laser eyes, isn't he? That's at one point.
Well, that's when they introduce like where he uses it to cover his eyes because he's got like cat eyes now. But originally he just wore them because he was cool, you know. It was the 90s. Sunglasses automatically made you look cool.
Wait, where was Barry?
Barry's not in it. Neither was Rebecca. You're just realizing this now?
No, it was more. I'm trying to honestly, it's taken a lot to digest. Like,
I'm still processing that movie because that's the thing. That movie throws so much at you so fast. It's just a nonstop like barrage of like
Do you know what? The first thing I was upset about was Claire being in the van with that guy with the trucker.
Yeah, they got the burger in there though.
Yeah. Burger, honestly, I don't. They took the least iconic parts and put it in the film.
Well, yeah, like that's another thing going with the like it was so close to being good and then it wasn't. Like they had Emmy's Diner like for like I don't know half a second in the movie, but then like they also had like the truck scene, except the truck crashes right in front of the RPD, which I guess Leon is a very heavy sleeper. Because what the fuck? Like that's probably one of the biggest things that people were making fun of after the movie.
What is in the fire zombie. Oh my god, it was so funny.
The fire zombie, yes. I've never seen someone walk so casually while on fire. Like, hey guys, what do you want to do later?
Oh my god. Oh, it was the music playing. The music choices in this film were awful.
Well, remember, it was supposed to put you into the 90s, so.
Yeah, but like when Chief Orange was leaving the city and that music was playing as he was being shot. Come on now. Come on now. I'm okay with things happening as long as it's tasteful, and some of it wasn't. It was quite cheap. But like I said, budget, they tried to fit everything they could in, whereas I think they would have done better off if they made like Resident Evil 1 a film, Resident Evil 2 a film, because we have yet to have a game film. Is that what it is? Film game or game? Yeah, a game film. Yeah. Because
if you're British,
you feel movie. Jesus Christ, sorry.
America.
I just. Yeah, you can't fit everything in. You really, really cannot. There was so much. Like Birkin was there for all of 5 seconds.
Well, like, I really feel that this was supposed to be 2 movies, and they just were like, we ran out of money, just turned it into one. Like, because yeah, I mean, they crammed so much into this movie, it just felt very weird. And speaking of Birkin, that was one of the biggest story points that I was like, I don't know about that, because they did 3 things horribly. One, what?
Yeah, sorry. I was going to say, I didn't realize it was Sherry until the last minute.
Yeah, no, that's one of the points I'm about to make. So, like, first of all, him being like the father figure to Claire and Chris, who grew up in the orphanage, like, what? And then also, like, it's like, okay, you can't be a fucking virologist scientist working for Umbrella and running an orphanage at the same time. Like, no one has that time. There would be a person in between experimenting or something. But anyway, and then there was like the family, so like Annette and Sherry, and Annette was just a housewife. She wasn't even a scientist, and it's like she's like a really big character in Resident Evil 2. What the fuck?
Yeah, I was expecting to say you never get your hands on the G. I was waiting for it, but nothing.
Nope.
Nothing.
Although they did I really liked the CG of his like monster, like when all the eyeballs were like popping and stuff. Like that was Resident Evil.
Yeah, but it was like I said, almost there. If he was taller and bulkier, it would have been better. But it just felt like Wesker, not Wesker, Krauser. I mix them two up all the time. You know, Krauser and RE4 with his arm. He looked like him, but with eyes. But it was a good try. I'm really hard to please in films. I'm a really harsh critic.
Well, you're hard to please in general.
I mean,
like, it's really hard to be your friend. I try my best, but like, oh my god.
Podcast over, babe. See you later.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. Have a great day. No, like one thing that was funny, like when Leon showed up with the rocket launcher at the end. At first, we were like, oh my god, but then I was like, you know, this is actually probably one of the most accurate things to how we play Resident Evil. Like, once you played it a couple times.
I actually jumped to my seat and clapped. I was the only one. I was so excited.
Everyone was just like, okay.
I was like, oh, hell yeah.
They're like, shut up.
Oh my god. So it's not about the film, but there was this guy in front of us. He looked like he brought his whole house with him. He had the whole seat next to him with all his food and everything. I was like, oh yeah, this dude's a real hardcore fan. And I think he was just a dad who like walked in or something, because he was laughing at parts that weren't funny, and he kept going ha like that. And me and Rob were just like crying in our seat. He was doing dad noises. It was so funny.
So you know how we got like the private screening and all that stuff, like I was so excited, and I was just like, and you know, I'm non-confrontational, so we were sitting there and these people came in who obviously snuck in to the theater. They weren't supposed to be there, and they sat down like 2 rows in front of us, and like I just like, it was in the middle of action, and I was like, oh, and I just stood up and I was like, this is a private screening, and they were like, oh shit, and they ran away. I was so proud of myself.
It's the Resident Evil Cafe all over again.
Yeah, I was like, get the fuck out of here, this is a big deal for me.
Oh, I wouldn't blame you. I would do the same. But like, yeah, the thing, overall we were laughing, which probably says something, but I had fun, it was entertaining, and that's all I can really ask for from a film. If I had to get nitty gritty and like give my true opinion on the connections to the game, I could go on forever. It was very bad in that sense, but it's fan service mixed with fan fiction.
Exactly. And like that goes back to what I said about I don't understand why we need another retelling of this, because let's say they got it exactly correct, it's like we've already seen this story, we've like played this, like it's unnecessary, there's no reason for it. It's just going to be people in incorrect costumes doing exactly what they do in the games, and then it's like, why, you know? At this point I would rather have like a homemade series made of the game, because like there's these, you know, when a book goes viral and these people like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make a film, like a real short budget film, and they're like 7-minute episodes. Yeah, I would much rather them do that, like, and stick 100% to the series, and then have the big film producers do like these cool different ideas. Or like, well, like that's what I've always wanted to see, because Resident Evil has gotten to the point where the characters are so beloved and so well-rounded that like I could literally just watch a regular show about these characters and I would be happy. There doesn't even need to be an outbreak or zombies or whatever. Like I would literally like imagine like Claire and Leon like as roommates, or like the Stars team, just like they're, you know, doing their cop stuff like that's what. So like when they were in the Stars office and there was like the banter, that was awesome, because we never get to see that. You get to go into the Stars office and you see everyone's desk and stuff, but we've never gotten to see them in just a casual setting that wasn't like horror or whatever. And like, yeah, I would absolutely love that. I don't know if that's just me, but like, you know,
I mean, I enjoyed it. I did think it was a bit too long in the sense of where they could put something else more important in. But if there was a film where, like you said, just specifically that, I'd 100% enjoy that.
Oh yeah, like Infinite Darkness, I was really hoping for a lot of that. And then there was just not. Which that's a whole other thing, but
it's like you're disappointed and unsatisfied, but you're very entertained.
Yeah, no, that's the thing, is like no one knows how to talk about this movie, because there's a lot of great things about it and a lot of really bad things about it, and it's like, but they're both equally like the bad stuff is unforgivable, but the good stuff's really good, and then you're like, I don't know what to say.
It's almost like Resident Evil 3 Remake, because the things that they got right, but the things they got wrong, they were terrible. So it's literally like that. One sec, I just gotta let Rob know that I got Homer right. He's pinging me.
It's like, oh my gosh, she's dead. She's dead and she's never coming back. This podcast is sponsored by kombucha, by the way, probiotics. Hey.
I don't have it. This it's sponsored by Winter in Venice, vintage cotton hand cream. Get yours now.
No, one day I'll have to tell the story of like how I ended up drinking kombucha and getting probiotics and stuff. It's yeah.
Well, you got me interested. I want to know.
Well,
when I think of probiotics, I think of like health things for like your genitals. Is that right? That's the only thing I know about probiotics. That's why I was like, wait, what's this? What's this story?
Okay, so we got to educate Diamond. Okay, now I need to say this because you need to understand. If you think this, other people probably don't have any idea. So, kombucha still, like, there's, like, people who are, like, there's no evidence to suggest one way or another, but I found it helpful. So here's what happened to me. So first of all, probiotics are for gut health, like digestion and stuff. This is probably going to be TMI, but like this is important knowledge, like for real. Like this is something that most people need to know. So I went to the dentist when I was having like my teeth done like a year ago or whatever, and I'd have like a root canal and all that stuff. And I had an infection in my tooth, and the dentist gave me antibiotics. And the antibiotics killed the infection, but they did something that I didn't know about, and it took me a long time to realize this. So what ended up happening is after the dentist, for like literally like 3 or 4 months, I was just fucking like shitting like just fucking liquid all the time. It was one of those things where at any moment you could just shit your pants, and it was the worst thing ever. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And like, no matter what I ate, no matter what I did, it just didn't stop. And I was starting to like actually think something was medically wrong with me. So I did like a whole bunch of Googling, and people were like, you need probiotics. And I was like, why? So looking into it, what ended up happening once I figured it out was the antibiotics killed the infection, but they also killed all the good bacteria in my gut. Oh, yeah. And you need that bacteria to help with digestion. That's what it's there for. So what probiotics do is they replenish your body with those good bacteria. So like there's like Yakult, which is these little yogurt drinks, or like Activia. Thank you, Jamie Lee Curtis. Like all of those, like kombucha, anything that says there's probiotic and prebiotic. I still don't know the difference, but that's what they do. So like it's been more than a year, and I still regularly have to like, oh, it's happening again, got to take more probiotics. Like it fucked me up. So now I'm like, I never want to take antibiotics ever again.
Yeah, I always had a weird reaction to antibiotics. It's like an immune system shutdown generally.
And fun fact, so this entire bottle is only 60 calories, and you would think because of how like sour and carbonated it is that it has like a ton of sodium. It only has 10 milligrams of sodium. The tanginess that's like that vinegary taste is actually the probiotics and the yeast. Like that's what they taste like. That's just how it is. But
I heard kombucha was a myth. Like it was just
it's not
marketing.
Real. No, it's a thing. Although I don't think this is the best brand, because I was reading that it needs to be in opaque glass because like light kills the bacteria or whatever. I don't know, but that's the story of why I drink kombucha. And oh my god, like again, I know it's TMI, but like there's no other way to tell that story without throwing that important information in.
Oh no, yeah, you gotta talk about everything, ain't you? We're all family here.
That was the worst. No, and then like, look at my dick. No, I'm just kidding.
Now that you mention it.
No, but seriously, like, in case anyone is out there who recently got prescribed antibiotics and is going through the same thing, or is going to be prescribed, now you know if that happens to you, what's going on. Because it took me months to like Google this. It's not like common knowledge.
No, I mean, I don't really have much experience with doctors. I'm quite lucky in the sense that I have nothing wrong with me majority of the time.
Well, body-wise. I'm just kidding.
Up here, it's a different thing.
Oh, but you don't even go there.
We're still figuring this one out.
Oh, Jesus.
You should put lipstick on a pig. That's what I'm going to say.
Anyway, all right.
Oh, my God.
So yeah, going back to the movie, what we were originally talking about, total like fucking sidetrack topic right there.
Oh God, I don't know. Yeah, it's like exhausting to think about, isn't it? You don't know what to pick on. Like, I wished that the liquor scene was in the RPD, but I understand why it wasn't.
Well, the other thing that was cool was the way that the lights, like how they revealed the liquor was really cool, because it's really hard to top the Resident Evil 2 reveal back in the day when like that CG cutscene, but it was like very close. Yeah,
I think the zombie dog reveal was good, but stretched out a bit too much. Like, and the scene with Chris and his lighter.
A lot of people are talking about that scene too. It went on for fucking ever. Like,
it was just like, oh, hey guys, I'm going to show you that I went to college and did film. I'm going to show you what I learned. That's literally what it felt
Well,
like.
I mean, you might not be too far from the truth, because I went to the director's filmography and he's only done like 15 movies, maybe less.
I mean, it's a great movie if you're like, you know, that inexperience for a film producer, because obviously there's loads of people out there that have done loads more. But did he say he played the games?
based on the Easter eggs and how he talks about the characters, I'm guessing he has, but he's also said a lot of stuff in interviews where I was like, ooh, like
he's played the game, but he started at 6 and 7 and then worked his way back.
I think he's not as involved of a fan as the Resident Evil community is. Like, he played the game and he has a general knowledge of the story, but he didn't think it was that important to like keep it canon, you know? Because, I mean, who would do that? Like, Paul Anderson, he played the games. He fucking loves the games. Listen to the commentary he did with the producer, and he fucking, like, tells you, like, oh, we put this in because of this, and da-da-da, and this train, I had to fight for them to build it. It was really expensive, but I knew how important it was to, like, you know, the fans and stuff. Like, he is a fan like we are, and I will defend Paul Anderson. Like, I know that people have their issues with those movies, and you know what I keep seeing online is a lot of people are like, yeah, the original movie was better, and I'm just like, well. Like, look who came crawling back.
I mean, the first film was iconic. You can't step away from that. I need to rewatch it because I really, really do enjoy the Resident Evil films. I'm going to say it. I love the films that were made.
Yeah.
Because I watched them as Resident Evil films and not as a game film. I don't watch it as that. Whereas this one was designed to be a game film, so I expected there to be game content in a game film. Well, like, okay, it was just trashy lines and atmosphere.
Here's like, if we're gonna really get into this, because I want to do an actual retrospective on the first movie now, just because again I feel so strongly about it, but here's where people don't understand the reasons why the first film was what it was. Why did we have Milla Jovovich as the main character as Alice? Why did we have none of the characters or locations from the games? You want to know why? Because if they're not in the movie, you can't fuck them up, and you also can't mess up the canon. Like, none of the canon got messed up in the movie franchise until the second movie, because everyone was like, bring in the characters, bring in the locations. So they're like, okay, Resident Evil 3, Raccoon City, Jill. But they had to change the story because Milla Jovovich. But anyway, going back to the first movie, which, again, that's the one specifically that is really good. The movie... the direction was a lot about going through doors, because what do you do in Resident Evil? You go through a lot of doors. There was a lot of tight hallways. There's a lot of camera angles that are specifically taken from the games. You know, there's like the picking up the gun off of the dead zombie, and, you know, like, we need a key to get through here. You have to find the passcode to get to the computer to open the door. Like, all of that. It's Resident Evil. It's there. I mean, it may be like a new thing that you didn't like recognize because it's not literally in the games. Yeah. But, like, you know, same with like the Tomb Raider movie. I mean, they changed so much from the games, but it was still really good and true to the series, and you can totally do that. I don't understand why people are the way they are.
I've been saying that my whole life.
And like, if you're someone who like doesn't like something, don't be a gatekeeper. Don't go online and like attack people who like something or like have different opinions than you. Like, we're all Resident Evil fans. We can all get along and have our own, you know, opinions, and it's fine.
Sunshine and rainbows.
I just have a lot of feelings.
Oh, so were you happy with Birkin, or would you rather have seen Mr. X?
I was happy with Birkin. I think we already had too much going on. Mr. X would have just been like whole...
like either or, Birkin or Mr. X, because I was waiting for Mr. X.
I prefer Birkin. I like Birkin better as a monster. He's more interesting.
I liked Birkin, but I think they had done so much stuff with the lab that we could have easily have scrapped that and done Mr. X. Like, the scene, they did a whole scene on the jail cell, where the reporter who knew all the stuff about Umbrella got killed with a zombie, right? Because Leon took so long to open the actual cell itself.
Yeah, way too long.
They could have easily have like with how shocking things were and how short run they were, like things that would pop in and pop out and you'd never see again. They could have easily have just had a Mr. X hand come through and squeeze him to death. Like, that would have just been easy.
I was expecting it. I thought that's what was going to happen. Actually, to answer your question, I would rather have the Tyrant from Resident Evil 1 instead of Birkin or Mr. X. Yeah. because like that's what I thought it was leading to. Like they're gonna go down the labs and then Wesker gets killed like he does in the game.
Yeah.
And actually, let me pull up my notes because, like I said, I was gonna do a review and I didn't, but I had bullet points.
I didn't take notes during, but I definitely had a lot to say. Me and Rob weren't talking for like 10 minutes afterwards. We were just like shocked.
Just like Vietnam flashback.
Yeah.
So, okay. I did like some of the depictions of the events were a lot more realistic than they are presented in the game, like especially like when the stars go into the mansion and start getting killed and stuff. Like it's very visceral and it's very serious, and it's like, whoa, like, you know, I mean, when he gets bombarded with the zombies, I think it was it Richard that gets like killed.
I liked that scene, actually.
It was intense. It was like like really like, whoa. It was
just like flashes of zombies. That was cool. Like that. But
you get to see how fast you can get overrun by zombies, and it's like they actually are a threat, you know. Whereas in the earlier scenes in the RPD, they're just like one at a time, taking their turns. Like, oh, I'm a zombie, don't shoot me.
Yeah, I do think there was a bit too many in the Spencer Mansion, though, considering how many are actually in the game. Like I know, like you said, it's would be more realistic, but there was loads like out of nowhere.
Yeah, it should have been the other way around. Like that should have been all people going into the RPD, because that's realistically how it's supposed to go down.
I agree with that. Like I understand why the RPD wasn't this place where there was puzzles and doors and all that. I get that, because everyone already said, why would the RPD be that? I know it used to be like an old museum or something. I can't remember what the law was. But,
and what did you think of Claire overall?
The thing is, I watched Skins and all I could think about was her in Skins. So for me, it was taking someone who was iconic in something else and just slapping a name on it.
See, I saw Skins so long ago that I don't remember. Like, I don't even remember her being in it at all. Plus, she was probably like, what, like 15 or something?
Yeah, she's a great actor. I didn't like her story. I think they should have swapped Leon and Claire around, like character-wise, but not made Claire look so stupid like they did with Leon. Like, they made him look like an idiot.
Leon, I don't know. Like, it's like the director must have really not liked Leon or something. But like, so what I like to compare it to is there's that scene in Resident Evil 2, the original, when he's on the radio and he's like talking to Claire and she's like, we're leaving. He's like, wait, what? And he's like, why doesn't anyone listen to me? Like, they took like that, and that's that they just made that Leon's entire personality, or he's just a bumbling idiot. And it was really frustrating, because the thing about Leon is he's like, yes, he's gullible and he's a rookie and all that, but he's trained and he's capable. That's why he survives Raccoon City. And this one, he like doesn't even know how to use a shotgun. It's like, they teach you that in fucking police training. Hello, like he doesn't
know how to use a gun, but then when he does, he shoots and goes
yeah, and wastes like 1 million bullets on one zombie. It was very frustrating. Like, Leon was really done dirty.
I think that was the worst part of the film, is how they portrayed Leon. Like, I can't get over that. Like, you've ruined the character. I will put it out there, you've ruined it.
Oh, and by the way, I saw a video of them reacting to something with the games to promote the movie, and he now has short blonde hair. So apparently cutting and dyeing his hair was never an issue for him. It was the production or director or whoever was in charge of costuming, so take it up with them. And there's also several photos of what's her name with a ponytail. Like,
I mean, I wouldn't put it past them to do certain things wrong so that people talk about the film and it gets publicity. Everything's done for a reason.
Yeah, but usually they want good press.
I don't know, bad press is just as good press. It gets you out there. Everyone knows about you, and then you're just like, oh, that really bad movie, I have to go watch it to see just how bad it was. Do you know what I mean? It works both ways, but yeah, I understand what you're saying at the same time.
No, like, I don't understand why they changed the story so much. It's like you're gonna go see Titanic, but then they're like, okay, so instead of hitting an iceberg, you find out that the iceberg is actually a UFO, and then the Titanic gets turned into an airship, and then it flies to Canada, and you're like, what? Like that's how this movie felt, where it's like you were like, this is not how it's supposed to go down. I don't understand.
Yeah, it didn't even start off strong. It started off really weak, and then it got good, and then it went bad, and then it got good again, and then it went bad. It was a roller coaster. There was no like, oh, I'm really enjoying this. Oh, that was really awesome. It was just like, oh, where are we going with this? What is that doing? Oh no, what? It was like really weird.
That's the number one way that I would recommend Resident Evil fans watch this, is treat it like a Resident Evil themed roller coaster. There's going to be things you recognize. It's going to be just a constant like ride up and down, and you're gonna have a good time if you treat it that way. But if you are like, oh, it's Resident Evil, it has to be like this way, then you're probably gonna not enjoy it.
Watch it if you're a Resident Evil fan.
Just don't treat it like a Resident Evil like canon thing. Like, just treat it as like a fun experiment. Just, I mean, that's when I went into, I was like, I have no idea how any of this is gonna work based on what I've seen, but let's just see. And by the end of it, I was like, oh, that's why, because they just completely threw everything out the window. We're like, we're just gonna do our own story, have fun.
I just want to clarify, I'm not being rude. I've spoken a lot today and my brain's exhausted. So if I'm yawning, it's nothing to do with you.
No, it's okay. I know I'm boring, and
I don't want the chat to be like, oh, she's rude, she's yawning.
She hasn't watched an Ink Ribbon video for like 3 months now. She's just like, oh god, he uploaded another one
yesterday. Oh my god, that scene where you went in the bath with your face mask.
Dude, you have no fucking idea. I was dying. Like, I literally I was like, this is an emergency. I had to find, like, I took 2 Aleve, and I was like, you know, when you're just at your absolute worst, like you've got a migraine and you're like, your feet hurt and you're dying. Like, I was dying. I was held together with like tape and glue during the viewing of that movie. That's why I don't drink anymore. Oh. I've discovered that I love every single stage up to the point of being drunk. So I've learned to stop a drink before I know I'm going to get there, and then I kind of stay at that level. Yeah, I usually just have 1 drink, but we were just, you know, peer pressure. We were having so much fun. It was Vegas, and like, I mean, the orgy was great. It's just, you know, the morning after, like, oh. I couldn't walk very well. My leg. Off topic, but would you be in an orgy? Have you been in an orgy? Yes and yes. But that's a topic for a different day. We're gonna have to do the sex podcast at some point. My mom can't watch it. No, she'll have to be killed. It's the only way. The only way. She's gonna clutch her pearls and be like, "My goodness, I raised a monster. I raised a whore." No, what was it I was called on that quiz? So I was a brat. Oh god, yeah. We're definitely gonna have to talk about that. Like we took a BDSM like kink quiz, and oh, that was entertaining. Yeah. We should do that like live. Like, oh my god. That's a long one though. We might have to find a different one. Oh yeah. Well, I took the short version because it asks you at the beginning. They're like, are you dominant or submissive? And I was like, dominant. And they're like, do you want us to just remove all questions for submissive people? And I was like, yes, because I have no interest in being like smacked around. Yeah, I'm like, I'm the daddy here. Shut up, sit down, give me a drink. Enough ruined this town for the Where's my beer, bitch? I'm just kidding. We both went to country. Well, I'm actually from Texas. I don't know what your excuse is. I'm from Texas. I'm home, sweet home Alabama. Yeah, that's pretty much all my notes. So I think like that's pretty much all you and I have to say about the movie, I'd say. I mean, could go on, but like we got time. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. Did you have any questions that were sent in? Yeah. 1 second. My phone has locked. Completely, right. Whenever you're ready. You know, okay. We're not like we're not live or anything. From Lightning, what's your best memories with Resident Evil, or a best memory? Probably getting my first Resident Evil game, which is still such a crazy story because like literally one day my parents are just like Like, we got you something, and they just handed me Resident Evil 2. I had no idea what Resident Evil was. I was just like, okay, cool. And, like, look at where I am now. I mean, the universe literally brought Resident Evil to me. I didn't seek it out, so that's always mine. What about yours?
I'd say overall, finding everyone in this community has been like my best living memory, because it's not over yet. But a memory that I've had was probably, I was in this room, because this room was in my bedroom beforehand. I had to live in this room for about 2 months while I was decorating my actual bedroom. So this is the computer room now.
Life is hard.
I know, a tiny bedroom.
You're like Harry Potter.
I actually loved it. It was like really cozy. My bed fit literally just in like the spaces between the wall, and I was just like a little snug bug in a rug.
Okay, focus. Back to the question.
I was playing Resident Evil 4 for the first time. It was summer. I had my cherry Coke, my flaming hot Cheetos that my auntie had imported from America, and I was just, when you're gaming and you're like, this is it.
This is the life.
Yeah. And you're just so content and you're happy, and you don't want anyone or anything to burst that bubble, and that's like one of my favorite memories. And like completing a game properly for the first time, like a proper Resident Evil game, was 4, I think, was my like first real game. Because I played Resident Evil 1 remake, but on very, very easy, and I don't class that as a run. I played that game when I was doing the every nook and cranny one trophy, where you got to pick everything up, and there was like over 80 healths left in that game.
Because you play on easy, so there's like way too much stuff to pick up.
Oh my god.
So you're like, I have 47 first aid sprays. Like,
yeah, it's like 100 ink ribbons. Like, if you can't complete that run, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's the easiest run I've ever played in my life.
Well, what you described about like the sitting with your snacks, playing a game, relax, like that is like the epitome of being a gamer. Like,
it really is.
That's like gamer nirvana. Like, you can't go higher than that, you know?
And that's why I say no when people go, do you want to go clubbing? And I go, no.
Exactly.
I have this at home.
Exactly. People don't fucking understand that. It's awesome.
It's like that feeling you get in the club when you're drunk and a guy's perving on you. I get it at home playing games.
And you don't even have to do it in uncomfortable shoes.
Exactly. And no one's touching my butt while I do it.
And you can still wear a thong. I mean,
exactly.
It's your house. Do whatever you want. Very nice. What else?
We have got from, oh my God's sake. It's Gruff, but his name is Tomato Soup Delicious.
He has a new name like every 5 minutes. Hi, Gruff.
Are you planning to make another game after Dead River?
I'm actually working on a prequel visual novel, because I wrote so much backstory that I was like, I could do like a whole other thing, and it's like, it's good. It's got like, I'm gonna do the Resident Evil like warning at the beginning, and I had to write out, this game contains scenes of explicit violence, gore, and sexual content. So it's got something for everyone, and I think people are gonna really like it. And the art style is like old PC games from the 90s, but you'll see, it should be out pretty soon. But thank you, buddy.
Oh, sweet. There's a couple of questions underneath it. When you were younger, what was your dream job?
Well, funny enough, I wanted to be a game developer, but in the 90s as a kid, it was like, okay, well, that's not a realistic job. And then when I was in high school, I wanted to be a movie director because of the first Resident Evil movie. I'm telling you, like,
that shit really inspired you.
It really did. You have no idea. Like, oh my God, I
still inspiring.
Tell you all about that another time. Actually, no. And then after that, I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I wanted to be an actor. Tried that, didn't like it. Same with modeling, and now I ended up being a game developer and a YouTuber. So that worked out.
Oh, by the way, speaking of like being a gamer, so the college that I went to, God, 5 years later, is now doing a gaming streaming course.
What?
Where you can learn to be like a YouTuber or a Twitch
What?
streamer.
Oh my God. If any of you are watching, don't go to school for that. It's a fucking scam. Don't spend your tuition money doing that because oh my god, that frustrates me so much.
Here, so you get you get 2 years free of college, and then if you failed your GCSEs, you get another year to make up for it. So you can have 3 years at college unpaid for. So if it's unpaid, go for it. But
yeah, I mean, if it's free and that's really what you want to go to school for, but I would go to school for a backup and then do streaming on your own. Oh my god, we're gonna have to talk about this on a whole different podcast because that just lit a fire into my ass. Oh my god.
But also, like, I wanted to cry because I was just sitting there, like, in college thinking, what am I going to do with my life? And if I was in college right now, you bet your fucking ass I would be in that course just having fun and making memories. Like,
okay, well, I will tell you right now, they may be able to teach you how to use the streaming software and how to, like, you know, upload at the right times and all that, but they will not be able to get you subscribers. The only way to do that is to upload consistently and to do something you enjoy. It's the only way it's gonna work.
Yeah, exactly. It is kind of a bit of a scam, I won't lie.
And keep in mind, I failed YouTube twice. I know, like, Ink Ribbon worked out, but that's when I literally stopped trying. I was just like, I'm just gonna do stuff I love, and then it worked out because I was enjoying myself. People like the content, so, like, please don't fucking go to school for that. Oh my god. Like, anything else, like even game development, fine, even though that's also kind of a scam, but that's for a different day.
It's like a whole general thing. It's got like lots of tabs under what you can do in that course. But I don't think I had a dream job. I had the whole, I want to be a singer, I want to be an actor, like when you were younger sort of deal. Yeah. But I thought I wanted to be a photographer, and then I changed my mind. I thought I wanted to be a writer, but then I changed my mind. Changed my mind a lot. I wanted to be a childcare person, and then I found out I didn't like kids.
I was gonna say.
Do you know what? I've realised I don't like kids that aren't my own family. That is my issue. So I think if I had a child, it would be different. But I think retail is again the ruined kids for me. And now I'm looking into like veterinary courses. Maybe I want to learn to drive. I'm not interested in the like actual science of treating dogs, but I'd love to be like an assistant who looks after the dogs, prepares them for surgery. Like I can do that, like
the vet version of a nurse, basically. Yes. Like that'd be great, and you get to work with animals all day. Like take care of them. And love it. Like how you said you were changing your mind a lot. For anyone out there who like you know you're going to go to college or you want to go to college, but you're like not sure, there is absolutely nothing wrong with taking your time and stepping back and saying, you know what, I don't know what I want to do yet. Because that's what I did. I took a year off before going to college because I literally was like, if I'm going to spend all this time and money, it's going to be for something I want to do. And that's when I finally said game development, because I was like, I may never get a job doing this, but at least I'm going to learn something that I want to learn and just do my own thing. So like, don't ever feel stupid, because there's a lot of people who just like, they are like, okay, I'll just be a dentist or I'll just be a doctor. It's like, don't do that. Don't jump into a field that you're not sure about. And remember, you can take all of your like your required classes that are for like all degrees, so like math, English, whatever, and during that time you can continue to decide. You don't have to jump straight into your field. And if you're still not sure, go to your counselors at your school. That's what they're there for.
Oh yeah, and like job centers, there's always help. You just have to want the help and want to use the help. I found that like a lot.
Yeah, I just like we have to share our knowledge to anyone watching who maybe hasn't gone through that yet, because like it's so nice to have someone who's already been through it tell you.
I would just touch on the fact of like, so I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I went into retail and I was like, okay, right, I'll do retail for this like this amount of time, I'll save, and then I'll know what I want to do. But I still don't know what I want to do. Veterinary assistant is just the newest idea that I've thought of and want to venture into. So you don't have to have a plan, but just know when you're losing yourself. Because I lost myself for about 2 years in retail. I didn't know what
and you will
to do in my life. It's a great place to meet new people. I love the people I work with, but it is a dead end job. Unless you want to go up higher in management, it is a dead end job. So just know your worth and what your skills are, and know what you can contribute to the world, because
Yeah, and if you have to do something like retail or food service temporarily, that's fine too. I was a barista at Starbucks before like YouTube got to the point that I could, you know, live off of it. So there's nothing wrong with it. Free coffee.
I panicked.
What?
You broke up a sec on my screen for it. I panicked. We're all good. We're all good.
Well, we're all good on my screen. That's all that matters because I'm the one recording this. All right. Well, that is our time for today. I will probably upload this ahead of other podcasts because since the movie just recently came out, you know, we want this to be timely. But any closing thoughts?
Go see the movie and get your own thoughts. That's all I can say.
I concur with that. Don't listen to other people's opinions. Have your own, because social media is making us all stupid, like sheep who just follow what other people say. Have your own opinions, your own thoughts. And yes, I agree. Go see the movie. You know, see it for yourself and then decide. Oh,
and just wait for the best bit at the end with the cow.
Oh God, the cow. Yeah, that we won't mention because that's just something you have to see.
Best bit.
All right. Cool. Well, that is it for today. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Make sure to drink water, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.